Yeah, when I got up this morning and I looked out, I saw that, there were some clouds, some kind of dark clouds, but I had no idea that it was this wet. So this trail, if you follow it long enough, will take you all the way down to the nature center. The Makiki, where the Makiki trail starts,
Right.
at the bottom, down there by Punahou.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I thought all those trails were.
Yeah, that's the starting point where they all go up and branch out from there. It's pretty cool. They have like kids programs there too.
Wow, it's really like the Big Island.
It's funny, I don't imagine the Big Island being tropical. Hi. I hope my camera bag doesn't get too wet. Yeah.
It's gonna be weird. We're gonna have pretty much fucking 0 cases.
Kukui nuts, right?
Yeah. A bunch of them too.
So, is there a tree here?
It's gonna be rolling down.
All I see is bamboo. There's a big tree in there, but
Way up.
that's something we didn't do last time, was actually look for the tree.
Yeah.
I don't see where there would be a tree here. Maybe it was like before the bamboo took over. And you see how when they get walked on, how they get, shined up?
Showing up, yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe that's what gave people the idea of shining them up in order to make them into the necklaces, because, they're not usually shiny like that. They're really dull in the beginning. Hey, we're going downhill now, so that means we got to go uphill on the way back. It's like me and Samino went snorkeling the other day, and on the way out, it was really easy, but then on the way back, we had to actually use our arms to swim against the current.
Oh yeah.
That's like that time that me and Justin went out at, Makua Cave
No.
on the Waianae side.
Yeah.
We went snorkeling out there, and we were out there by that flat area where the coral is, where the fishermen go, and so we started swimming from there towards the cave along the coastline, and we went out a ways and then was swimming parallel to the shore, and then I get really worried about sharks and stuff. And so I always like to, have my snorkeling partner, close to me.
Yeah.
And if not, then I kind of freak out.
Yeah.
And Justin turned around and started swimming the other way. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm testing the current." And that's when we realized that we were going with the current. And then on the swim back, we had to do, full on American crawl to get back. Yeah. So we got a pretty good workout on the way back. And then, by the way, it turns out that the snorkeling out there is terrible.
Oh, really?
Just nothing on the bottom.
Wow.
Nothing to see. And we came across a guy who was spearfishing. Just came out of nowhere. I mean, how I always think about how when I'm snorkeling and you look off into the depths, and there's that line where things just kind of disappear. And I always picture a shark just coming through that, like a veil, just coming out of the veil, and it could just be on top of you in no time. Well, that's what happened with this spear fisherman. I just, was looking down, and all of a sudden, skimming along the bottom, there was a spear fisherman, and I was like, holy crap, that could have been a shark.
Yeah, he's right on you.
Yeah.
And the shark would be fucking moving long before you did.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I've been doing the past couple of days? On YouTube, I've been binge watching this show from Australia. You've probably heard, from our guest a lot, talking about Bondi Beach.
Oh, yeah.
So I had no idea what it even looked like. But the show that I've been watching is Bondi Rescue.
Oh, I've heard of that,
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like Baywatch, where they follow the lifeguards and all the rescues and stuff that they do.
Have you seen Aussie Man Reviews?
Yes. Yeah. That guy is so cool. And then whenever you see him, because you hear his voice all the time and you think, oh, he sounds like a really cool guy. And then you see his face and he's ugly as fuck. Yeah, and he goes, hey guys, here's my face.
Yeah. Yeah. Destination Fox is so hilarious.
But I was thinking about sending you guys an email, saying, hey guys, check out the show that I've been binge watching. I think it would be good for you guys to watch this, because there's a lot of stuff in here that you guys could learn that you could apply to our tours, especially since we take people snorkeling, because it shows a lot of rescues and cases where people have, medical conditions, and how they treat it. Not only treating the cases, but also the prevention. Oh, there's some cinders in there.
Yeah, lots of them.
Those are really old, though.
Really cool to see stuff like that.
Do you smell that? It smells like what?
Skunk cabbage.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, so this gets the direct sunlight. Is this recording? Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool on that other one how we had the you could actually see the angles. On the other side though, it was going this way.
Yeah.
Because we were on the other side of the crater, so it was going this way.
Right.
Now we're on this side of the crater and it's going this way.
Wow.
How these little ferns are so cool.
Oh yeah.
They look so soft. Ah, look at this. So I think this might be Makiki Valley. So this goes all the way down to where Punahou, where the nature center is, down by Punahou. Do you know Nahoa Street?
Yeah.
And then Makiki. You know how we turned up Makiki to come this way?
Yeah.
And then there's that little triangle dog park.
Yeah.
So instead of coming up this way to go to Tantalus, if you would have went the other diagonal, that takes you to that nature center.
Wow.
And then that's where these trails start from. So the little purple flower right there, I have it on my Instagram. Weird. Okay, so here's the name. Pink fringe.
Wow.
Pink fringe. Anyway, my phone's freaking out. Pink fringe. There's a lot of them up there. Look at the plants growing on there. What do you call it?
It's a staghorn fern, I think. Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen one in the wild, I think.
One of the posts that I have on the Instagram is of a tree that had a whole bunch of moss growing on the tree.
Yeah.
And I have the definition of the word on there about plants that grow on other plants.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a scientific term for that.
Some kind of symbiosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sure that's a staghorn fern.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking up things like that. Like whenever I come across something new and strange, or whatever on my tours, I'll look that stuff up and then post it on the Facebook and then onto the Insta. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Onto the Instagram.
That's a cool pic.
Wow, that's a lot of rain.
Yeah. Fucking muddy.
Yeah, I'm just kind of stalling since we're kind of covered right here.
Yeah, you are. Move that way a little bit.
Oh. Oh yeah, it's almost dry right there.
Yeah. Oh, this is the staghorn right here. Okay, that's what we're under.
Oh.
Oh wow, look at the bulb that it makes up here in the tree.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it puts like those are like leaves that it puts out and makes a pocket.
Almost like roots.
Wow.
The way it's coming down.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
I came across something on Facebook the other day where they were talking about how, or maybe it was a YouTube video, where they were talking about how these, you ever seen those knots on trees?
Yeah.
Where it just looks diseased, like a big knot.
Yeah.
And the video was talking about how that's a form of a genetically modified organism, and I was like, what? And so I watched the video, and it turns out what it is it's a virus on the tree.
Oh, I thought it was insects.
And the virus will snip part of the virus's DNA.
Really?
And snip that into the DNA of the tree, and it causes the tree to grow that knot, and then that knot produces sugars and foods for the virus.
Wow.
And then whenever I was on my walk the other night, I came across a tree that had one of those big knots on it. It was a monkey pod. More cinders.
I saw a really.
Oh, these are going this way.
There's a lava bomb over here. That still had like It's unbelievable how stupid some people are. You gotta plug it into a computer anyway.
Okay. Oh my God, come here. Look at this. Sorry. Look at that lawn of that house up there.
Jeez, what a place. Oh, I think I used to know somebody that lived in that house. I think it's like apartments.
Man, I love that lawn. Me and you have never been on this trail before.
Oh, I thought last time we got a view of that house.
Well, last time we would have been going the other way.
Yeah, okay, so it's a different
Yeah. Yeah, during that time where I was going to college and I was dating Mickey, whenever I was done with my college work, I would come up here and hike the trails, and so I did every one. So like on that map, you know, it lists 18 trails. Yeah. The only one that I haven't done is the one that's on the other side of Manoa Falls. And that one, I don't even know where the starting point is. I would have to like really like read the directions for it. It goes to another waterfall. It's funny, that dirt's not actually that wet. Whoa! Slippery right there. Well, there's that bird that sounds like a car alarm again. I haven't identified which bird that is. I'm thinking it might be a bulbul.
Oh yeah.
The red-vented bulbul. Yeah, they always seem pretty far away when they're doing it. Yeah. Who's that? Judas Priest? Okay, I was thinking Iron Maiden or something.
I never liked Iron Maiden. I just don't get it.
Huh. what was it, Def Leppard? In the beginning, execution of all mankind. Da, da.
That Def Leppard show was actually really good. I bought tickets like the night before or 2 days before. Like way up in the back. The perfect spot to be in.
Do you know the song that I was just doing?
Yeah, I think so.
That was when I was in high school, and my friend, he had a like a 1982 or maybe a little bit older Plymouth Duster,
Oh, nice, really, yeah.
like forest green, and we'd go through the parking lots just blasting that song. He used to race, you know, all of the other guys. He had a 318. And yeah, it was pretty fast. You know, he would time himself, you know, doing the quarter. And one day, for some reason, he let me drive his car. And I picked out a spot on the road where you know, I did the quarter myself and timed myself.
Really, yeah.
And I ended up doing a better time than any, you know, his best time.
Wow.
And so when I told him about it, you know, it was like he didn't believe me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had noticed that, you know, some of the things that he had done wrong whenever he does his, is he always gets on the gas too much and spends too much time spinning his tires going sideways. So I just made sure that I didn't do that. Yeah. Oh, we're at a junction. Make sure this thing's recording. Yeah, okay. So let's see where we are. So, Moleka Trail. Pit control in progress. Hikers should wear bright clothing. Consider using other trails when you have pets, dogs. Yeah. Okay, so that was Moleka Trail. And then here's the Makiki Valley Trail. So
Okay.
it goes two ways. So I think this one goes down into that valley
Yeah.
and then back up the other side to like where the one-lane bridge is over by Kalawahine Trail.
Right.
And then this one here goes down to the nature center. And so these trails are maintained by Ualaka'a, Hawaii Trail and Access System. So that's, I don't know if that's part of DLNR or if it's like a volunteer group or what, but they maintain the trails as far as like, you know, the cutting the trees that fall down and stuff like that.
Well, look at that tree over there. It grew the root out and then down on an angle to keep it.
Oh yeah, it's a banyan tree. Long time ago, doing the hike from Manoa Falls, going up the Ualaka'a Trail, there's a place like this where there's these two huge banyan trees that are growing like that.
Yeah.
So picture that, except for the tree being like 5 times as big as that, and there's two twins next to each other.
Wow.
And somebody on a limb that was going out that way had put a rope,
Oh,
and you
really?
could swing on it.
Yeah.
But whenever you came to the apex of the swing,
Yeah.
you were over the albizia trees down in the valley.
Wow.
Now you imagine how big those albizia trees are,
90.
and you were above them
Wow.
by like 1,000 feet, or you know, maybe 500 to 800 feet. So like
About 90 feet.
so like if you would have let go, you would fall at least 1,000 feet. And my brothers convinced me to do that.
Oh.
And so, you know, of course I held on,
Yeah.
but the bad thing was swinging back to try to get off the rope.
Oh.
All of the roots that were growing sideways down the hill, you know how they have those roots that go like that?
Yeah.
And they're slick.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get my footing to step off the rope. So it's like you get off the rope and then you want to just start sliding down because of the roots. Now, I cannot believe that I did that. That's one of the stupidest things that I've ever done. But, you know, you're, yeah, egged on by your brothers, you know?
Yeah, well, it's always been with brothers, yeah.
Oh, wow. That would make a nice picture. Except I'm not getting my camera out. Oh, I could do this. Oh, look up at the raindrops coming down. That's cool. Oh, and there's one of those staghorn ferns that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Way up there.
Way up. Oh, yeah. Wow, look at that. That's like 10 feet around, man. Wow.
So they've actually had to cut the roots in order to make the archway there.
Yeah, right.
Commercial trail tour activity prohibited.
Oh,
Yeah, so there are certain trails that we're allowed to do up here,
yeah.
and I signed up for the permit for that.
Right.
So if you ever have anybody that wants to do a hike,
Yeah.
if you can give me
Yeah.
heads up, I can go online and actually get the permit.
Yeah.
It's only like $1 a person.
Wow.
I think they basically just want to regulate it, that there's not too many people on the trail at the same time.
Right.
So that takes you down to Tantalus Lookout. That's Ualaka'a. That's the state park at Tantalus Lookout.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what are those white flowers right there?
Holy smokes.
If it stopped raining, I would take a picture with my zoom lens. All right, so that's the end of the trail. So start heading back up to the car. Oh, the birds are actually coming out.
Yeah.
That's what I brought the camera for. The zoom lens camera. I had no idea it was going to be this rainy. Pretty cool that you can still do a hike like this while it's raining, though.
Yeah.
This nylon jacket has helped a lot.
Yeah, I should have thought about my waterproof jacket.
So yeah, this goes back down to that little parking lot, and then it crosses the road, and then eventually ends up at Tantalus Lookout.
Okay.
Did you see the YouTube video that I posted from the hike that we did the other day? Even after I chopped it up, ended up being 47 minutes and 47 seconds.
That's awesome.
Here's the Shama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See right there.
Yeah, really. I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer. Sure.
Oh, there's that car alarm bird. Wish I could get closer to see what that is. You know, I learned their song a couple of years ago when I first started doing the tours. And they keep changing. Like every year, their song gets slightly different.
Yeah.
And so I still keep doing the old song to them.
They're like, retro, dude.
Yeah. They're very curious. Used to,
Yeah.
whenever I would do the song, they would like come down closer, you know, keep maintaining a little bit of a distance, but they would come down closer like, what is that? What is that? You know, like they wanted to check it out.
Wow.
You see how he's sticking around. He's still,
Yeah.
oh, there he
Don't
goes.
have enough of you guys.
Yeah. Oh, look at the fog.
The windsurf. Oh, yeah.
That's fog, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
I mean, that's not rain.
No, that's fog.
That's fog.
That's the mist coming up. Yeah.
Wow.
Off of
Sonoy.
Sonoy.
Yeah. You know the song?
Back one behind us.
The song that I have on the hello, on the CDs in the tour vans.
I never listen to music.
Dude, it's a sweet story. You should play that for your customers. It's a song that was written by Queen Ualaka'a
Oh, okay. I know the song. Yeah. Okay.
about her maidservant who was having the affair with the guy
Yeah.
that she would let in at night,
Yeah.
and then the queen named the guy Sonoy.
Yeah.
And so, oh, the fog just dissipated just all of a sudden.
Oh, the wind blew. Yeah. Look at that. Wow.
So Bobby Madero from the band Mauna Loa tells the story about how the queen wrote the song because she had the maidservant that slept in the room next to her, and in the middle of the night she would wait for the queen to go to sleep, and then the girl would let the guy in through the window.
Ah, really?
They would have their fun, and then she would let him out, and she thought that the queen never knew. But you know, the queen knew, but instead of reprimanding her, she wrote this song.
Wow.
And she named the guy Sonoe because he comes and goes like the clouds.
Really?
And says that, you know, that whenever people see he explains that Sonoe is the Hawaiian word for the misty clouds that form in the valleys before the rain comes. There's a mosquito hanging right at your ear.
Yeah.
So Sonoe is the Hawaiian word for the misty clouds that form in the valleys,
Right.
and that whenever you see that, you know that the rain is coming and that there's nothing you can do to stop it. Just like you can't stop this love affair that's budding in the
Right.
next room.
Wow. Wow. Really? Very cool.
And actually on the newest version of the CD that I have in the vans, well, the Turtle van doesn't have a CD player, so it's in the Shaka van and the new 7-Pass. But the story, the version of the song that I downloaded from YouTube actually has Bobby Madero explaining the story at the beginning. So it's a good story that I tell my passengers because when I worked at the Sheraton Waikiki for Starwood Vacations, every Wednesday evening we would have a little get-together for our Starwood Preferred guests, our SPG members, and Bobby Madero would come and play.
Wow. Really?
It's like a lava bomb broken in half.
Yeah. Really?
It's black on the inside. So Bobby Madero would come and play for our SPG members, and he would play that song and he would tell that story beforehand. And he has his little joke at the end where he says he has these two very beautiful daughters, and that it's because of that song that he has barred the windows of his house, because ain't no Sonoy coming to my house. Yeah, one time when, so Bobby Madero, the band Mauna Loa, they do slack key guitar. At Windward Mall during Christmas time, 2 or 3 years ago, they had a slack key guitar thing in the central area of the Windward Mall,
Yeah.
and it was free. And he played.
Wow. Wow.
So we specifically went to Windward Mall
Yeah.
to just sit up on the second floor and look down at, watch them play slack key guitar.
Yeah. Is Kim still here?
I have no idea.
Wow. Good.
I sent her an email the other day. There was a news story about how Hanauma Bay, they were using this as a study for the impact, since there's no visitors in Hanauma Bay for like a full month, where they're going in and measuring things to see how different it is. So I sent her an email with that article in it, and I said, could you imagine being the first people to get to go snorkeling at Hanauma Bay once it reopens? And she didn't respond back, so I don't know. It's always really far away when I hear it.
That's why I think it might be an intruder alert. Like,
I wonder if maybe it's a shama.
yeah.
I'm thinking it's either a shama or a red-vented bulbul. This banyan tree, there's like no main portion to it. It's like all vine. What is that? Is that banana?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I know. That was my other thought. Looks more like a banana tree though.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't come across any guava on this trail. We'll have to go to the one-lane bridge. There's guava trees right on the side of the road there. Both guava and strawberry guava.
Wow.
Oh, look at the water is collected since the last time we were here. Another banana tree, right?
Yeah, that's banana. Yeah.
I hear people who have banana trees in their yards talk about how hard they are to get rid of, because you cut them down and they just keep coming back.
Really? That like break down?
Hey, somebody, one of the comments on the Facebook page the other day was talking about how Hawaii needs to come up with other means for the economy other than tourism, and one guy suggested aquaculture. And I left the comment saying, is aquaculture actually that much better than just growing food in the ground? Because the setups that I've seen for aquaculture seem really like complicated, and it uses a lot of plastic.
Yeah.
And it covers the same amount of ground that you would have used to grow the food in the dirt anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, why is aquaculture any better than growing it in the ground? Do you have an answer? Have you ever been,
It's more control.
have you ever, you know, seen an aquaculture set up close?
I think the thing with aquaculture is that you have so much control over the growing season that you don't have to let it rest. You know?
Okay.
But there's a big difference though. Like when I grew weed, everybody I knew that was growing weed was doing hydroponics, and I was doing it in dirt. I was doing hydroponic routine, but I was growing in dirt, and everybody wanted my weed over anything else.
So, you know, over there, like where the Waiahole Poi factory is.
Yeah.
And there's
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's that aquaculture place there that does the hydroponics. And you remember Leyland?
Yeah, yeah.
One time, I don't know why, maybe we were doing a training tour together, and we stopped there.
Yeah.
And turned out that Leyland knew one of the guys that worked there.
Right.
And so he gave us a tour of the facility.
Wow, really, yeah.
And so it was really complicated.
Yeah.
So he had 2 huge pools with tilapia fish in there. And then they would feed the tilapia.
Right.
And then the droppings would go through a pipe and down into these vats where they were growing cabbage and stuff and that would be the fertilizer in the water. Like you could see the roots in the water with no dirt.
Yeah.
And then he had these little vats on the side where they were raising the tilapia. So the tilapia, when they have their offspring, in the beginning they keep it in their mouths to keep them protected. And so he was showing how they would pull up the mothers at a certain point and squeeze them in order to make them let go of the babies. And then they would put the babies in another pool, and then they had different ages of babies as they went along. And then the last tank was like a breeding pool where there was like 1 male and 7 females in there, and you could really tell the males from the females. The males have a huge head.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it was like really manly looking head compared to the females. And there's all these containers for the fish, and then all the plastic piping, and then the like where the cabbage is growing, it's in plastic and it's up off the ground, and it just seemed really complicated. It's like you're not saving. I mean, unless you did it like stacking or something, I could understand you could save space that way, but they weren't. It was taking up more space than if you just planted a garden. Yeah, and the guy did go through like a really rigorous how they do like statistics on how much food they should give the fish in order to give a certain amount of output for the cabbage and lettuce and so yeah, it seems to me, consider the amount of plastic that uses, that it doesn't seem very environmentally sound. Oh wow. So that's what you call that, staghorn?
Yeah, staghorn fern.
I know there's a staghorn vine that when I go hiking, that it gets wrapped around your feet.
Oh yeah.
And the leaves on it are actually shaped like a staghorn, because it goes out in, like how the antlers on a deer, goes out, branches out. Oh, so I'm starting to notice that these little ferns always grow on the cliff faces where the cinders are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how on the Big Island, how people talk about there are certain kind of plants that move in first after a lava flow. Certain ferns and like ohia.
First it's like the moss and the lichens, and then ohia.
Yeah.
Regardless, the next thing goes to the tree.
So it was pretty cool to see pictures of the lava flows on the Big Island like a year later, and you could actually see those plants starting. And so the the seeds for the ohia tree are really light, and so they can get carried by the wind across the lava fields. Yeah, and then they just, find a little nook to start off in. Reading the book, you mean?
Yeah. Like a good quarter of that book that's right over my head.
Oh, yeah.
Another quarter of it I kind of got, and I think half of it I
Well,
accidentally.
I've watched enough of his lectures online that I figure I get the gist of what he would have said in the book.
Last time I watched it, I thought it was intently listening. And it's that one where he's got that woman who's trying to pick an argument with him.
Yeah, that's a lot of them.
He said something really cool at one point. She's talking about how it's this hierarchy stuff. He's like, no. This is not what we're talking about. It's like a quarter of a billion years
Oh, yeah.
ago.
Talking about the patriarchy.
Yeah. And he says to her, a third of a billion years ago,
There wasn't even trees. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's hard to fathom. That's
I know, that's like, that kind of like thinking,
like there was a point in time where there was no flowers.
Yeah. Oh, I watched YouTube last night on gamma ray bursts.
Oh, I watched one on black holes spinning around each other.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. Wow.
Man, that's thick. And it goes all the way up there. That's like a fracture almost, the way that root is growing in there.
Oh yeah, no kidding. And then that root will open the fracture too.
Yep. So yeah, the one that I was watching, he was talking about these black holes that are, in like the death spiral, and somebody had asked the question.
Is that the one that created the gravitational waves we're talking about?
Yeah, that's what causes that. Yeah, when they eventually come in on each other. But somebody in the comments had posed a question to him, and so he made a video about what would happen if black holes were to do that faster than the speed of light. And he explained that, it's not possible, but here's what would happen.
Wow, really?
So he made a circular thing with a piece of fabric that was flexible.
Yeah.
And so that was...
Oh, yeah. I think I know what video you're talking about.
That was the fabric of space-time.
Yeah.
And so he had these two wheels spinning on an axis, and you could see where it was sending out the gravitational waves in the fabric. Oh, there's a shama right in front of us. That one's either young or a female. It's not very colorful.
Curious, yeah.
I gave the territorial thing and he flew off.
So it must be them that's making that noise.
So he was, showing, I guess he had calculated how much he would have to have this thing spinning in order for it to be, the same speed as what they're actually doing it in real time, scaled to his model.
Right.
And then he decided to increase the speed so that they were going faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
Can you guess what happened? It ripped up the fabric of space-time.
It tore it.
It like pulled it all in, and just like the universe just, yeah, like you wouldn't want to do that. It would like destroy the universe. Oh man, this is turning out nice.
It tore the fabric of space.
Yeah, the fabric. Yeah, exactly. Look at the rainbow.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's the Reef runway at the airport.
It tore the fabric of space.
Yeah. If you come across it on YouTube, the fabric that he's using is orange.
Okay.
So that'll be like the screenshot for the.
Right.
So what were you saying about the gamma burst?
Oh man, unbelievable bursts of energy this thing does, man. Like it can cause an extinction level event on the Earth coming from another galaxy.
Yeah. But I think it's very focused.
Yeah, it is.
So you would have to be in the direct line.
You have to be in it.
Oh, now it's going to get hot and humid.
But they were thinking that the extinction event before the one that took out the dinosaurs might have been the result of that.
Yeah.
Because of the trilobites.
All right. Well, I think we're getting close to the car, so we should go before it gets hot and humid.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm just inherently a night person. I'm kind of like a vampire. It's like when I see that the sun is coming up, that's when I want to go to bed. And then I wake up right before right as the sun is setting. And then I always feel like, oh man, I wasted the day. I should have gone and done something.
Yeah.
But then again, during the middle of the day, as far as like going surfing or something,
Yeah.
I don't want to go because I don't want to go out in the sun because I don't want to get sunburned. Because as I get older, I'm really concerned about getting skin cancer. Because I'm starting to know people who have gotten it, like Uncle Woody from the Woody's Barbecue Corn up at the by Giovanni's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he actually died from it.
Right.
And then my brother got it recently too, on his arm. And he was doing chemo, where it was like a cream that he would apply to his arm, and it would just like kill his skin cells. So it was like on this part of his arm, and he had to put that cream on there, and it was like an acid that was eating away at his skin. Oh, the bamboo.
And it was chemotherapy in his fucking skin.
Yeah, exactly. Except instead of like a radiation kind of thing, it was a cream that did it.
Wow.
And he finally got over it.
Really?
Oh, I don't know. Could be.
It sounds like rocks rolling down the wall.
Oh, well, there's a lot of kukui nuts right there, so. So yeah, my brother that we were just talking to on the phone, he's the one that got the skin cancer.
walk up there and there's that picture of the surfer up on the tree, Bubbles.
Yeah.
He's on an episode of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Then he got sober and died from lunch.
Wow.
Wow, what a weird guy. It's almost like water carrying a rock.
Yeah.
I wonder if it makes that sound when no one's here.
So another hike that I was thinking about us doing is the Judd Trail.
Yeah.
But that's another trail where I would worry about parking my car, you know, even if it didn't have the company name on it. And so I was thinking what we could do is maybe I could convince somebody like Bridget to drop, you know, use one of the tour vans and just drop us off and come back and pick us up. So for the Judd Trail, or also the waterfall on the Poly Highway. Oh wow!
It's like 3 rocks.
It looks like iron. It's got a sheen to it too, like oil. So I was thinking we could do, if we could get Bridget to drop us off, we could do that waterfall, and then we could do have you ever been to the King Kamehameha Summer Palace? And then just like,
It's a ruin, isn't it?
yeah. And then just like 2/10 of a mile from there is that other waterfall. So if we could get like Bridget to drop us off and then come back in like 4 hours and pick us up, we could do both of those in like 4 hours. So Samina wanted to go Sunday. What is today, Friday?
Yeah. Where does she want to go?
Well, she wants to go hiking Sunday. She wanted to go to that waterfall. But I suggested that we do the Manoa Cliff Trail to the Pa'ao Flats Trail. That's the one that has the mountain alpaca on it.
Oh, right.
So I want to go back and see that. Because that's the only place I've ever seen it. Oh, this is ginger. Too bad it's not flowering.
That must have been banana.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was growing more vertical than these things. Oh, I'm seeing.
Typically was a break in time, my shirt fits me my place. The wood floor in my place is so gross, but this time I cleaned it and I'm putting a layer of stain on it. It's like sealing it off.
Oh, cool.
And then I put it under, and the stain is darker, and boy, does it ever work out. It's fucking good. Lots of, when is it pictures?
Oh, it could be. Yeah, in the very beginning of this, I was all gung-ho that I was going to do all these chores, and I washed all my shirts, and I actually arranged them in my closet. And then the plan was I was going to take all of my button-up shirts that need to be ironed, and I was going to iron them all so that whenever we started work again, they'd all be ready. So I've got them all washed, hung, and sorted, and I've ironed 2 shirts. So I'm ready to go for the first 2 tours at least. But you know, originally, we were thinking, April 30th, and then I was content on, that it was going to be May 15th.
Yeah.
But then when he extended it to May 31st, that just blew me away.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get worse than that.
And there's one news story where they're quoting the mayor, and he's talking about taking it on a month-to-month basis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Why would you do that? You can go fucking fly weekly.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's making it sound like it could go past May 31st into June and July. And then they're saying that, it may get worse again in the fall. Look at these chickens. There's a rooster and a hen right there.
Oh, really? Chicken.
I think we're back. No.
Oh, here we are.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
so they want you to brush your shoes so they don't carry seeds to other places. You hear the Shama, that's the territorial. They're battling. Hooah! So here's the other trail that I was talking about doing on Sunday. Manoa Cliff Trail.
I love the symbol of the guy hiking.
Yeah, it's like a petroglyph.
Yeah. Is it a pictogram or a petroglyph?
What was petroglyph? What?
Pictogram or a petroglyph?
Oh, petroglyph. All right, looks like the car's okay. Let's try not to get any mosquitoes in the car.
Yeah. That's the only time I hike is with you.